Hello Epic 7, and welcome to my guide for the Night of the Last Succession side story event, more affectionately known as Brawling. I'm sorry for the delay in this guide, but this is an area that I am not an expert on, so I wanted to spend a few days getting to know this new auto-battler mode. This is an exciting new mode, and it hit us completely out of the blue. No teasers, previews, promises, or expectations, just boom, here it is, and what a great surprise. A whole new, unique, and complex system, and it's completely free. No in-game currency cost. I'm, for one, am pretty excited about this mode and hope to see E7 do more with it, like Brawling RTA, anyone? Now, I've seen a few people who are not as into it as I am, and I get it. Here's the thing, it's different, it's hard. And different is scary, and hard is, well, hard. I think many are hating it because they don't understand it. If you're one of those people, I hope this video helps you overcome that. Now, many are hating it just because they don't like auto-battlers, and hey, I get it. Look, I'm gonna let you in on a tip here. This is a game. Don't do things you hate. Sure, the rewards are nice, but they aren't earth-shattering. Nobody's getting an ML5 selector out of this, right? It's some mod boxes, some gear charms, etc. Nothing that you have to keep a competitive edge. Heck, people skip Nightmare Raid and Normal Arena all the time because they hate those modes, and I think you can get far better rewards from that than from this event. Games are meant to be fun. If you aren't having fun, well, what are you doing here? Now, the haters, I believe, are a very vocal minority. For the rest of us enjoying the system, I hope this guide will help you through it. This will be a large video, so I'll have bookmarks with contents in the description to help you find what you need. You see, in spite of its apparent simplicity, this new game mode is quite complex. I'll do my best to explain what I've learned, but bear with me because until 5 days ago, I had never done an auto-battler before. So first, let's talk about exactly what is Epic 7's Brawl mode. For those of you experienced with teamfight tactics, this will feel quite familiar. For those of you like me who have never played an auto-battler before, this may be a little overwhelming, so hopefully this helps you navigate through it. Let's jump right in. First, let's talk about what you're trying to accomplish here. Your goal is to create a team that can fight the AI through 25 rounds of escalatingly difficult fights. As you complete fights, use certain teams, use certain unit combinations, win championships, etc., you'll get rewards which are hidden in the Reputation tab. Some of these rewards are quite nice. There's equipment conversion gems, there's spirit blooms, epic spirit blooms, there's modification boxes for speed sets, and most importantly, there's a doggo pet. So I think it's at least worth doing for that, right? It does take some time, but it doesn't take any stamina, so you can do this as often as you like without taking resources away from any other aspect of the game. Now, you want to build teams that have good synergy, and I use that word because in every aspect of Epic 7, you're chasing synergy. You're never really building units. You're building teams. Teams of heroes that have synergy with other heroes. In Brawl mode, you are building teams that have synergy with other heroes based on the same classes and the same kingdoms. For example, more heroes from Azera you have on the board, the more they boost attack and defense and impact other units near them. Now you notice you only need one Azera hero on the board for the Stage 1 Azera synergy. To get the second stage of Azera synergy, you need 2 Azera heroes. 3 Azera heroes does nothing more than 2 did. You actually need 4 Azera heroes for Stage 3 synergy and 6 Azera heroes for Stage 4 synergy. Also, classes have synergy. For example, Vildred is a thief from Azera, and Alexa is a thief from Azera. If you have both on the board, you'll get the synergy bonus for level 1 for Azera and the synergy bonus for level 1 for Thieves. So you can kind of get 2 for 1 in that regard. Now, kingdom synergies are typically quite a bit more powerful than class synergies, but they do complement each other well. Consider how insane Mage Dominial would be with 200% barrier because you've got 4 mages on the field and 6 skill nulls on top of it from having 4 spirit lords on the field. It makes Dominial the perfect candidate for a frontline tank. Consider 6 knights giving reflect damage to the entire front line while a healer keeps them healthy and a ranger drops bombs from the back ranks. Hopefully you're starting to fathom the power of team building and synergies and how they can advance your play faster than just slamming random 5-star units. This really is no different than any other aspect of Epic 7. I said it before, I'll say it again, Epic 7 is a game of team building, not unit building. This is true with Raid, Abyss, RTA, Arena, Guild Wars. It's not what the unit does, it's what they do for the team. So read through the synergies, see what they do, how they work, familiarize yourself with the class bonuses. This will help you decide who to take out and who to leave in. One other example that I think is important to point out, early on you want Rengar heroes. The more Rengar heroes you have, the more New World Powder you will obtain. Now New World Powder is the currency of Brawl mode. It's what you use to purchase new heroes or enlist new heroes. And getting a lot of that powder early on feels really good. It lets you fish for specific heroes you need. Now the powder bonus is only for the Rengar units, and it only applies to them if they're alive at the end of the turn. So if you have 4 Rengar heroes on the team and they're alive at the end of the fight, that's 120 bonus powder. But if all your Rengar heroes die before the end of the battle, you get no bonus powder at all. So early on, it's great to have Rengar heroes, but as you progress, you either need to pivot to a different team or find ways to protect your Rengar heroes so that you make sure you get the bonus powder from them. Now, after you beat round 25, which is not an easy fight for the unprepared, your team becomes the champion team. When you go through this whole process and beat round 25 again, you get to fight the champion team. In other words, the AI pilots your prior team and you have to beat your own creation. So you want to consider that. To get the maximum bonuses, you've got to beat the champion team several times, and each time you beat the champion team, your new team becomes the new champion team. And this will persist into week 2 and week 3 likely as the event goes on. One of the biggest mistakes I see people making is they run straight to Reddit and they look up the strongest team possible and they choose those teams and run them straight into the championship, and then they're stuck. They don't have the experience or the know-how to beat the monster they just created, and they feel like they can't progress. Don't fall into this trap. There's a lot of damaging guides out there that are leading people down this path, and just don't do it. You want to make a team that is powerful enough to beat floor 25, yet not so powerful you can't come up with a different team whose synergy and unit placement can take it out. In fact, if you get to round 25 and your team is incredibly powerful and you're worried there's no way you'll ever be able to build a team to beat this, just yield out and bring another team in. You can do that. You don't have to fight the champion team. For those of you who have already fallen into this trap and are now facing an incredibly strong team and can't figure out how to beat it, that sucks. Hopefully this tips and tricks section of this video will help you figure it out. If you are still struggling after that, jump into my Discord. There's a link to my Discord in the video description. I'll have a brawling room set up where hopefully we can share your screen and help you unlock your championship fight. I will not do the fight for you. I will advise you and teach you. I will bring other people in to help, and hopefully we can get you through it. But also consider that this is only week number 1. Week number 2 is coming up in a couple of days, and we know for week number 2 we get Midnight Galililius. We probably also get Furious and Kawazu, as they're all in the stage 25 fight, and we also get the City Lords synergy team. Perhaps these new units and this new synergy will be insanely powerful enough to overcome anything you built in week number 1, yet leave some flaw that's exploitable to allow you to beat them with a different team. Also, there's week number 3 with a whole bunch of blue question marks in the reputation bonuses section that just say check after next update. So clearly there's going to be a 3rd edition to this event, so who knows what the developers are cooking. I can say this, Smilegate has been really good at not putting out impossible to clear content for events. So if you're stuck and you can't figure it out and the people in Discord just don't seem to be able to help you, give it a few days. See if this update offers a path forward. Now I could talk for a little bit about placement, unit picking, tips and tricks, but like I said, I've only been doing this for 5 days. I may be no expert, but luckily for us, Valky has offered to spend some time to help us out. For those who don't know Valky, well, you're missing out. Valky is one of the top E7 content creators and an official caster for Epic 7. Valky is one of the reasons I do as well as I do in RTA. His socials are linked in the description of the video, so definitely check this man out. He is the yin to my yang. If you have RTA questions or need a deep dive analysis on a unit, go learn from the master. And speaking of master, another thing about Valky, he's a master level TFT player. For those of you who don't play TFT, that's basically the equivalent of being Emperor in RTA, so he brings with him a great deal of knowledge on auto battlers, and he will cover this tips and tricks section of the video.
Hey guys, Valky here, and I just kind of organized a list of just tips and tricks to help people get into the right mindset. First things first, I think one big important thing, especially with Underground Brawl Arena, is you shouldn't ever try to play specifically, oh, I want to play Politics and Mages only. That's usually how you get stuck, unless you get really lucky. You're not likely to just hit Politics and Mages. But instead, you should make it a goal to play whatever you get and try to piece together the best synergies you can with what you got. And on the topic of synergies, I would think about them not so much as synergies because, especially if you're new, they could get a little bit confusing. So how I think of them is thinking about them like suits in the game of mahjong or poker. So the more you have, you get a flush. You get maybe like a straight flush, right? That's where most of your power is going to be coming from. And the whole idea here is like you're drawing cards, and by round 25 you want to make sure you have the strongest hand possible, which is also why you want to increase your team size as much as you can. So instead of trying to specifically draw one card and believe in heart of the cards, just play whatever you're hitting a lot of, whether that's knights. Game gives you a lot of knights, play knights. Game gives you some Rengar, use Rengar to farm currency. If the game gives you a triple S carrot at some point, just go mage, right? And I also think about imprinting units like pulling pairs of a card, pulling triples, and a triplet of like a 3 is always going to be stronger than a single 10 in any card game. So with that in mind, our goal is to draw the highest value hand by round 25. Now, when it comes to compositions, the best way to design a grid-based auto battler composition is to build a standard team in RTA. And we call it a standard because it looks like a standard RPG party. You got your tanks in the front, supports in the middle, and your DPS in the far back. Now, if you're confused about where you want to position some units, you can always look at some of these guys' skills. And when you click on their skills, it'll tell you their range. And the best is always, some combination of like a really good 5-star, and you have their origin trait. So, for example, Senya with Dragon Knights giving her that ultimate, and that's always really powerful. And you want to have at least 2 ultimates activated for each one of your team comp. That's kind of something to aim for. As far as good compositions you can have, Politis and Policia will almost always be the first really OP comp you come across. It's just the clear OP in this game mode. I think some of the other strongest traits are 4 mages as a front line instead of knights. 4 mages is really, really strong if you can hit them early enough. They can just tank throughout the entire game, Dominion being one of the best tanks in the game. I think Destina is another one of my favorites. Spear Lord is really, really strong. Destina is a great unit, able to just revive anything. Green Silk as well is just the best DPS in the game. Vildred is actually a really strong unit. A lot of people don't like him, and that's mainly because in round 23, when you have to go up against 6 knights, when he drops his S3, he usually pops himself and he unalives himself to the damage reflect. And what you really want to do is just tuck him in the back and have a healer towards the center of the map, so that way when your front line finally collapses, he can walk his way around the side and hit the side, and hopefully a healer can keep him topped off. I think the 2 best units in the game for their value are Silk and Clarissa. Silk particular being really OP due to that Spirit Lord synergy with Destina. Both of these units, though, you can run them without any synergies, and if you have them imprinted, just even without synergies, I think they're really, really strong. Some of the advanced tips I can give to you guys is that once you get past your first and second championship, in order to beat that, you almost will always want to reroll for Rengar early, which will give you loads of gold. And it might even be worth to reset for it if you're trying to go for like a 4th or a 5th championship. I think Spirit Lord is incredibly strong, and especially if you got a Destina with that. A lot of times, the best teams that you can have will have Destina in them with Spirit Lords activated. I think 6 Knights is also a really, really sturdy front line. 6 Knights plus the Hawk plus Theron had, and if you can fit in it, 1 really good healer, and that might also be a really good championship team. And one really important thing, beating round 25 means you have to beat your own team in the championship round for the rewards, and the best rewards involves you having to beat the championship round 5 times. So if you want every single reward, not miss anything, and you want it like this week straight away, do not have an early Exodia unbeatable run, because that will soft lock you out of the championship team. And the theory is that no matter how strong your team is, when more units get added next week, with the City Lords trait, with Midnight Gala Lilius, Furious, and Kawazu, it should, in theory, be stronger than anything we have now. But just in case, guys, try not to get too strong too early, as soft locking yourself out of the championship run is quite a real possibility. Now, if you want some ultra cheesy techs, I would say it definitely involves re-rolling until you start the game with a turbo broken 5-star is always a strat, but the best 5-star to be starting with is always Yuna, since Yuna is a Rengar, and Rengar will always give you extra income. It really snowballs the lead you can get, especially seeing how we have a fixed 25 rounds in the game mode, and getting Rengar up early ASAP is just so important. It also gives you the best chances to just have Rengar 6 up as soon as possible. If you can start the game with Yuna, something like Rengar 2 by round 1, Rengar 4 by round 3 or 4, and Rengar 6 by round 7 or 8 would absolutely grant you so much money. Unless you get turbo unlucky, you are almost guaranteed just to have a championship destroying run, and the team might just be so strong that you never lose. And yeah, that's pretty much it with all the tips. If you just take all of that and even do like half of it, I think you'll have a really good time with this game mode.
In all this time, I haven't rolled a single double Rengar.
You haven't rolled a single. You got a pretty nasty Senya.
You saw the Senya Kiki Rat one, right? I was like, wow, that's really the first one I'm gonna roll.
I saw that one. I was like salivating. So the way I do it is, if you don't roll double Rengar, if by round 2 you get 2 more summons, right? So your reroll is technically 4 summons, and if you don't roll Rengar 2 by then, I would reroll. But I would, put whatever I have. Like if I get 1 Rengar here, I would do 1 round without Rengar 2, and if I get it, that's kind of the only part. Sometimes, like, to play the craziest things, you have to reroll.
Yeah, they love to give me Unryung.
Dude, I like how you're getting a Senya before 2 Rengar. That's crazy.
Twice. We got Senya twice.
Oh my god. I think the craziest run I've ever done was I started with a Fire Shuri, and I started with a Corinne. I saw that, I was losing it.
Yeah.
I think that was the earliest. I think I was at 6 Rengar, but oh my god. What is that? Still no Rengar 2, by the way. That's crazy.
There
you go. That's my favorite opening in the game. That's all reliable. You can put Carrot like maybe a little bit up front. Carrot's supposed to be like a tank in this game mode.
Yeah, even though she's a mage, she's melee mage.
She's a melee mage, flame barrier.
Yeah. So we went with the double Rengar to get the 20 world powder, which applies only to Rengar heroes. So I'll get an extra 40 powder.
If they all survive.
If they all survive, which of course they will on round 1.
Mm-hmm. And you're probably fine all the way up till round 8. Like, you shouldn't have any problems whatsoever if you just keep up the gold. So I think up next,
so we got 140 instead of 100.
Yeah, I would level up once and then summon 1 more bronze, or summon up 1 bronze first. Alexa, I just throw that in and then level up. And just use this to kind of keep up tempo. Yeah, because you're so much stronger, you don't have to like run a full board, right?
Right.
Yeah, and if you really want to like be safe with the Alexa, you can put her like maybe one tile back, and that should give her a safer positioning.
That they all attack Kikurat and leave the
So now if you click on the Rengar trait on the left side of the screen, we have Lucy to hit, which is pretty hard to hit, but if we look at the 4 cost, we actually have a handful. So I would start summoning Silver. Because we're still pretty strong right now, we don't have to level up, and we could use one more unit on our team. I'd just try our luck in Silver.
Yeah, I was triple the chance of getting the trait we want.
Yep. And I would just put that in until like, I don't know, let's say round 6, round 7, or round 8. So we're just going to use Rengar 2 to give ourselves a little bit of a like lead in getting our levels up now. Yeah, on any normal run, you're just using Rengar 2 to push EXP. So I would just level up again. I'll probably do 1 bronze summon to see if I can push out like a Lucy or something. If we get Lucy here, we're golden. If not, yeah, we'll just throw her in. 2 warriors. Not the best, but hey, a little bit more combat power, so we'll be fine through round 8. I think big thing for round 8 that we want to have is we want to make sure we get at least 1 healer.
Gotcha.
And if you want top right corner, there's a double speed button. That'll really speed up a lot of matches, especially if you're trying to go for those championship wins. Always to make sure to hit that every time.
I beat champion 4 or 3 times before I discovered that double speed button was up there.
Yeah. So because like, are we risking it for the biscuit, or are we playing slow and steady here, Tristen?
You know, it's a gotcha game, and I'm a gambler, so.
Oh, well, there you go. Let's replace our worst warrior with that. There you go. Now we should be turbo strong. Yeah, so you're probably fine until level 8. I would get to level 6 and level 7 before round 8 with this. Put Carrot in the front so that she's also just like tanking. Yeah, now that looks like a really good formation collapse. Oh, looking a little tough for Carrot. She'll be fine. There you go. So I would push level again here. Yeah, that's like the equivalent of like, if you imagine you're playing around a poker and you're just allowed to have 1 more card. Like, how strong is that? Do a silver summon here. Fish for our last 4-star Rengars. That's a Silk. I mean, not a Rengar, but that's one of the best units in the game. I probably use this to replace the Alexa.
The Alexa over the... Oh yeah, because we get the warrior bonuses.
Yeah, I mean, even if it doesn't upgrade our bonus, it's more units that can take advantage of the trait.
Right, because we only have 3 warriors, so that 3rd warrior's not giving us a bonus.
So, depending on how you feel about this might be a change you might want to make. I would actually put Lorena and Dingo on the front line, like in front of Kikurat.
Oh, because we've got the Spirit Lord bonus giving us skill null.
That is one thing, but the other thing is we want to keep our Rengar units alive as long as possible. Yeah, and I mean, they're warriors, right? So when they drop below 50 health, that's where their trait comes in, and they get a lot of damage. Yeah, so this looks fine. We got Silk and Zahak probably ripping people apart, and we just need our meat shields to do meat shield things.
And the reason we have Zahak so far back is so that he can insert while they're pounding the tankier units.
If he's like getting in, it avoids him pulling too much aggro. You can maybe put him like 1 tile up or 1 tile to the front, Yeah, this will just make sure if he's walking into the fight late, he's not taking aggro, and if things line up for him correctly, he might just sneak in through the back. Right, and there it is.
Yep.
The Hawk just walks straight on their Ranger, and that's why positioning is so important in a lot of like field-based auto battlers.
Yeah, if you can get your melee back into the artillery, makes life a whole bunch easier.
And there it is. Like, we're not going super crazy at this run. Can we afford this? This is 250 gold, right?
Nope, we can't.
I would just summon Silver here and see if we can fish out for like a really good Soul Weaver.
Ouch.
Crozet. I would use this to replace... I would use this to replace Lorena. So that way we have 2 tanks. Yeah, and this should be keeping our Rengar safe and steady. And we kind of have 2 options here. We can just take this as a Hawk and go all the way to the end game, but I mean, it's round 7 and we got 18 rounds to go, so there's a long time to figure out what we really want to do. Let's see. How would I do this? I don't actually think we spend this round. I feel like we're strong enough. I think we can just skip around because we can sell both the level up here, but there's not that like, it's not that important if we can't fit anything in, right?
Right.
So we can probably just skip here and go into it, just thinking we can beat 4 mages. We should be strong enough. Our team's pretty competent.
Yeah, Silk in the back dropping bombs. We might lose Carrot though. I noted her positioning was not so good before, and I thought we needed to move her so that she didn't draw too much aggro, and I didn't think to change it, and down she went.
Yeah, this is kind of coming down to it. Dominion. Okay, Dominion needed to go down. That was it. I mean, that's the power of Silk, right? As a 4-star, she basically outputted our 5-star. Yeah, we can just level up here, put Lorena on the bottom side of our front line. So like, yep, right there is good. And we can maybe like slam a Shy Bronze summon, just see if we can hit anything cheeky here. Kiki Rat Imprint, we can play with that. If you're
do another, or do we roll through?
If you're feeling it. If you're not, because most of our composition, I think, is going to be coming through the silver summons.
Yeah. We just run it?
Yep. Round 8 is one of the hard ones. I believe round 13 is another hard one, where you'll have to go up against the AI Silk. That one's pretty hard, but I think there's a Hawk positioning beats that as well.
Yeah.
I would start slamming silver summons until we see some better units. Because that's 400, right? Ideally we can, well, not what we're hoping for.
Nope.
But this will keep us steady for like another couple of rounds. Yeah, people sometimes have issues with the Hawk round, but I feel like if by this point, you know, you're level 7, you're level 8, you got a whole bunch of units, you can generally overrun the Hawk and friends.
Especially if you have your range class, your artillery right down the middle, they'll target on Zahak and help take him down.
Mm-hmm. I mean, our Silk is doing so much work.
We lost both of our Rangar units.
Do you feel like saving one more round? We can. So there's a couple of things you can do. We can slam the gold here and just play to the gold unit we get. We can save up and level up in a round. I think there's a lot of things we can do. I'm down to slam gold. I'm down to slam 2 silvers. Depends on what you're feeling, honestly.
Normally I'd slam silver since we already have a 5-star to queue off of, but we'll go ahead and give it a shot. Maybe
I would say slamming gold here is the safe and steady way. So it almost is looking like we're playing as a Hawk base composition.
Looks
maybe
like it.
4 warrior, 3 Theronhad. The hard part is now we're gonna have to summon a little bit of bronze to pick up the Theronhad units, so we can. So at the very least, we can get the ultimate unlocked for him. So I would save up to go level 8. now because our team is going to be pretty strong. We're going to be strong enough. As long as we beat round 13, we should have like full access until round, I'm guessing 23.
If I had to reposition Carrot, she's just one of the first ones to die.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let's move back our Carrot. Probably strong enough to go. I think, yeah, move Carrot back. I think. Okay, so there's two things. We are either saving to go level 8 here, or we are slamming silvers because we're worried about round 13. What are we feeling?
I think we need to get 8 people on the map for round 13.
Okay, then let's save up here and just do round 12 and see how much of gold we end up with.
Okay. Yeah, I like what that did with Carrot. She's not taking any heat at all, and she went right back to the mage. Kiki Rat and her survive, so we got maximum payout.
Okay, now we can level up. Let's do.
So that's max level.
Now we're level 8, so now we need Theronhad. Perfect. I think this might be a game where we go for either 4-Knight Theronhad with Spear Lords or a 6 Knights Theronhad game. Right? Because
right.
When you start hitting these traits, you got to start connecting in your mind, right? What works with them? Who do they share traits with? And then what other strong units that they share traits with, I can start combining with them. So we're looking for Hasal Yumryang, and then once we get that in, I think we're looking for maybe a base of 4 knights, and then seeing where we can go from there. Let's also throw in, while we're at it, let's just throw in Lorena, because warriors are still nice at this point. Move Lorena back 1, yep. Mainly worried about, okay, let's do
She'll probably head up and to the right if we don't have an access port for her, right?
Swap Yumryang and Kikirat. I would swap Dingo and Crozet. Key is we want Crozet there to be tanking the Silk. The Silk is where most of the damage comes from. Ideally, Kikirat and Kara can survive, but this is one of the harder rounds, so if we just scrape together with a win, I'm not going to complain about it. Whenever you're feeling good, you can just run it.
So I'm leaving a space here so that they'll move, and she'll still at least head this direction. I'm worried if I start. Oops! I'm worried if I start it here.
It's fine.
That they'll both move forward.
Kind of a non-factor.
Okay, so
I would actually
this?
move Silk to the top of the map behind Zahak.
Oh, okay. Reinforce him when he's in the back 40.
And then whenever you're feeling good, just run it.
Yeah, see, Carrot ran all the way around to the top.
Oh,
she didn't see a way through.
Are the Hawks getting shot? Oh, we ran. Okay, we ran the Silk. That's all that matters. There we go. Yeah, Carrot, I mean, as long as we get it through, I would slam 50 here until we hit Yumryang.
Oh, wow. Where were you 3 rounds ago?
Yeah, where were you, man?
Hey, there she is.
There it is. Okay, so now we got 4 knights. Let's replace Lorena. Let's replace Carrot with Shuri, because now we have a guaranteed better unit for Rengar.
You don't have to worry about running around because Shuri is all range.
Yes, sir. So that's good. And I think our team is I think we're stable. Now we just have to just ride this train all the way to round 23. Hopefully we get a good Destina somewhere in the middle.
That'd be nice. Shuri's big thing is his S3, but I do like the auto crit.
Alright. Now we have a couple of choices, right? So our final composition is 4 knights, Spirit Lords, 2 warriors. 2 warriors are going to be Dingo and Zahak. Spirit Lords is Dingo, Silk, Destina. So Destina will come in for Shuri. and click on the Nice tab for me for a second. So Yoon and Hasala are not leaving. We are probably going to be replacing Kiki Rat with Rose, and if it comes down to it, it might even be a Senya above a Crozet, or yeah. So because Senya and Rose are both Dragon Knights, right? So they're both Knights, they're both Dragon Knights. We run them together as a package.
Right.
So because most of the things we want are actually 4 or 5 stars, I would actually slam Silver Summons until we get most of those things.
Agreed.
Dingo Imprints, I mean, we're keeping those.
Take it.
You could sell, so off of your bench, you can sell the Alexa.
Well, we're at 90, and these are only worth 10.
This gives us another Silver Summon if we sell everything.
Yeah, it gives us exactly, we have to sell everything. But really, I don't see anything here that we would want to keep.
Yep.
Well, and then there's that.
It's not very helpful, and I think we're a little late to try to push for Rengar 4. Our team composition is already a little bit too set. So we can just kind of disregard that and just go for it. If it comes down to it, we can't sell her back for another 50 gold. It's fine. This is a bit of a tougher stage. Politis is pretty strong, but we gotta... Imprint is a hawk that we can just start running.
It's time for the finale of this little puppet show.
Didn't lose a single person.
There we go. Yep. Now we should have 3 silver summons.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
That's
3.
really good. Getting one of your carries all the way imprinted up. Less helpful. We probably sold the Cirilla. Yep. Summon again.
He's really good Spirit Lord.
She is a really good Spirit Lord, but the problem is if we're taking Spirit Lords, I think we would rather have Destina. So she's less helpful now, but if it comes down to it,
give up the night bonus for the extra damage and power of the Spirit Lords.
I think if anything, we're probably giving up Rangers to run her to give Reflect for the Knights. But I think for now, the backline damage is enough. Let's check our damage charts. Like, yeah, we rather have the damage than the Reflect right now because Knights are pretty tanky, so we can just go. Yeah, so this is what most of our fights will look like up until like round 23. So we don't have to care about anything. We can just keep going with the silver summons.
Hey, we like that.
Imprints. There we go. That's a really important imprint to be hitting.
Hello.
Ooh, okay. Well, that looked like our Kiki Rat is out. We would make less money this way. So if you're really, it depends on how spicy you're feeling, because this might be a Dominion out, or not the Dominion out, Crozet out.
I mean, hear me out. Is floor 17 through 22 really going to be a problem for this team, or do we just keep making the money and slam Senya in later when it gets hard?
Let's trade Senya and Crozet, and then slam Crozet when things get hard.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, that is a huge team. I would maybe potentially trade one of your knights with Dingo's position, so Dingo doesn't catch a lot of aggro out the fight. Because your Dingo's kind of catching a lot of top side and middle aggro.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's huge. That's huge. I think if by round 21 we haven't pulled a Destina from silver yet, we might have to make a foray into the gold to try to fish for a Destina.
Gotcha.
But I would, yeah, I would do something like that. That's fine.
Where'd I put her? There she went.
You could also put the Shuri like further in the back, but I don't think it matters too much. Oh my god, the Hawk just does so much damage.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and we're winning these so hard, so handily. You think this is one of those times we start fishing for Destina out of the gold?
Yeah, I think so. Dude.
Okay, that's not a Destina, but we definitely take that. I'm trying to think. If we don't get a Destina, you think maybe it was worth, like, we just hit a Rose instead, let's say? I think either one could work out for us, but it depends on what you're feeling. If you're feeling the Destina, you slam gold. Otherwise, if you're like, you don't have to have the Destina, we can slam silvers to fish for Rose, and then maybe more copies of Silk, more copies of Dingo, maybe even a Dominion.
I'm liking that better.
Okay. So that's not really helpful. So she can be sold back. We take those. Okay, yes sir.
So yeah, this is a strong team.
Yeah, we're keeping the Crozet, we're keeping the Dominion. Corinne can go. This might be a bit problem if we hit a round 23 and we don't have like a really good Soul Weaver yet. At the very least, I'm hoping we can hit an Angelica. Like we kind of just need something. Poor Angelica just got beat up by Zahak. Yeah, that's a lot of money. So yeah, up to you. Same game plan. We're looking for Rose. We're looking for Destina.
Shurian Prince. Not
Shuri's
really
gonna
what
be
we
nice
wanted
for now,
though.
but he's probably going by round 25.
So we're just getting every 5-star in the game.
That's not Destina.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That is really crazy. Okay, we're gonna sell the Vildred and just go for another one.
Hey,
That's a Rose.
There she
Okay,
is.
so we have options right now. We could still play the Rengar, but it's either
think we do
still
for
play
2
the
more
Rengar.
rounds.
We can play for 2 more rounds. Yeah, that's fine. So at round 23 is probably when we're going to make the big adaptation. I would even sell the Crozet by this point because you know you don't need him anymore. We have the Rose. So we can sell the Crozet, we can sell the Corinne, and then now we maybe fish for a Destina.
it still wouldn't be enough though. We'll have to sell him next round.
Yeah, that's fine. I think we're really strong now. We got a really strong Senya, we got a really strong Zahag.
Be honest with you, I'm concerned that if we get a Destina, it might be too strong to take as the champion team.
Okay, so if that's what you're going to do, then we beat round... Okay, so you have a championship team already, so we beat round 25, and
Yeah,
we
we
just
can-
hold on to a couple of, we hold on to a couple of jobbers, and then swap in, like, the Destina, you know?
Yeah, we can talk about that when we get there, because I think that is an important thing to cover.
It's the art of
hot
being
knife through
strong. You
butter,
can't be,
my
you can't
God.
be too strong.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's fish for a Destina now. So we got everything else we need. Yuna
And
can go back
Yuna.
into the pool.
Hey.
There it is. Okay, so now we're going to round 23. The replacement is, Destina over the Shuri, and then Rose in for Kikirat. So Rengar is out completely, and we have a whole bunch of traits in for combat. And what you can do is you have one of two options. if you're really sweaty and try hard, we hold on to the Shuri and the Kiki Rat for next round, and then they go back in for the combat units, or we just sell them now and save ourselves the mental clutter.
I think we'll sell them next round.
We'll sell them next round
just in case we need them.
I would put the Rose where the Hasal is. So the Rose and your Senya should be your absolute front line. I would put the Yunryang like one above your Dingo. Yeah, and I think the Destina is fine where she is or one spot up. Either or.
There she has a chance to cover Zahak in case he draws some fire.
Yeah, so you're either using her to cover Zahak or you're using her to cover Senya, whichever one you feel better about. You can also try this thing where you swap your Rose and your Senya. Swap those two so that she has a chance to cover both the Senya and the Zahak. Either or. Could both work. Yeah, big thing here is like we need Destina to revive. Just in case our Zahak goes down to the damage reflect. That damage reflect is goes a little too hard. But we got invincibility up, so we should be fine.
Yeah, the invincibility really makes it great against these reflect teams. They never even got a chance to break their own egg. Now, they got it. We sniff the butterfly, and everyone who's dead is back.
It'd be funny if it brings back the dragon egg too. Alright, so I think now for the rest of the run, we can purely summon silvers. Because we got the Destina, we got our revive.
I really don't want to make the 5 stars any stronger going into the finals.
So Shuri, I don't think is very consequential. Clarissa, not very. So I think we're strong enough to beat the finals now. It's just about summoning units for fun. You might even just hold everything for the rest of the run. If you're really worried about the championships. How many championships clears do you need? You got left.
I finished this a while ago.
Oh, nice.
It's more for discussion. Do we sell this Crozet and get another 150 pull? Is there a world where we just stick him back in?
I don't think so. I think if anything, it's Kiki Rat and Shuri back in, so you're using Rengar instead of a combat trait. I would sell the Crozet. I would sell the Corinne. I don't think we need the Dominion either. We already have our Spirit Lord 3 with no mages.
Yeah, it feels so weird selling Dominion when we have 3 of the 4 Spirit Lords, but you're right.
Yeah, I
mean,
it is
only one extra round of skill.
There's no real benefits to Spirit Lord 4, and
and we'd give up something important.
We give up something important for sure. It's definitely not Warriors off of Zahak, who is our main carry right now. Yeah, and Silk is a little too strong. I mean, if you just check damage charts, yeah, more Rose, like we'll take that. Yes, sir.
Okay. Should I move Silk down so she's in line with the Dragon Egg to help take out the Dragon Egg fast?
Yes. Silk is one of the best units to be playing with Dragon Knights because if it's Dragon Knight 2, you put her right down the middle and she just 2 taps the Dragon Egg, immediate crit chance for all your units. If you're playing Dragon Knight,
stick her down here.
Yep, if you're playing Dragon Knight 4, you put her on the top or the bottom. More Silks.
And Silk.
Yeah, and a lot of times you're just re-rolling. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't hit, which is what makes Rengar so good, because it just gives you more chances to hit.
So this is the final fight. We know that Lilius is in the middle here somewhere. And we got Furious in the back, and Kawazu, I can't quite remember where he's at, but they're all mostly centrally located.
You might want to try shifting your Rose and your Senya. So this way your Destina covers your Senya completely, and if your Zahak is kind of caught on a unit on the top side, That way your Destina covers your Zahak as well.
Down.
Yeah, other consideration is maybe Dingo bottom side, so you have a strong damage dealer top, middle, and bottom.
Just let Hassal and Silk take out the Dragon Egg.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, and Silk just 2-tap the egg. A little too much aggro for Hassal in the middle.
Dead. She kind of walked onto our Zahak, which is a little bit unfortunate, but as long as we survive and we get our invisibility up, it's no problem.
He is deado. Destina will
that's
sniff the
fine.
butterfly.
Yep. Yes, sir, we got Destina. Destina's like, she's just that good.
Yes, yes. Or we just kill him before we sniff the butterfly.
Yep, there you go. And then that's how you beat floor 25.
So if you're if you have reputations that you I'm sorry, if you have already beaten the championship all the times, you can decide whether or not that team is stronger than your current champion team. If it is, you just leave it. You don't bother going in, because if you're chasing these reputations, like where was one of them, like
It's one with the red speed set box.
here we go, fulfilling with level 3 Azera or level 3 Rengar, then if that team got me the Dragon Knight synergy one, for example, then we could just yield out. You'll get the reward without beating your champion team, so you don't have to keep beating your champion team. You can bow out. And
exactly.
And the reputations, I think, are a little misleading. So it might be, or not misleading, but a little confusing to some. Like, Dragon Knight synergy stage 2 and Rengar synergy stage 3. And if you look at the synergies, Rengar synergy stage 3 isn't 3 Rengar heroes, it's 4 Rengar heroes. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. But you don't need 6 heroes, because that would be stage 4.
Yep.
And the reputation is stage 3. There's Dragon Knights at stage 2. You need all 4 Dragon Knights to get to stage 2 Dragon Knights.
Yep, exactly. Wow, I didn't even think to explain that. I was like, I just processed that intuitively, but I guess to a newer player, that definitely could get a little confusing.
I've had several people say, what do you mean I don't need all 6 Azera units? Like, no, you only need 4 Azera units. It's much easier if you go in with just 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you can support it with your other 4 units. And don't try to double dip. I mean, you can do 4 Azera and 4 Spirit Lords, but other than that, it's just easier to focus on one reputation, support it properly, and then bang it out. Don't try to double dip. You'll wind up bricking your run and wasting your time.
Yeah, and when you get familiar enough with the game mode, I would say like a full 25 round run takes you maybe like 16 minutes is generally my average playtime now. So, and resetting doesn't cost you any energy. So if you really wanted to do that, reset yourself a perfect opening or a Rengar opening, and then proceed to play whatever it is you need to do the reputation rewards for. Overall, I think Smougate did a really bang-up job with this game mode. For what it is, it's small, it doesn't lag my computer, it's easy to play, it's pretty relaxing, and there's a lot of pretty crazy stuff you can do with it. So I'm having a great time with this.
I love this mode, right? I'm not a TFT player. I've never done auto battlers before outside of like really watered down early iPhone games. But I really like it, and I love that it's something new. And I know it's getting some mixed feedback. I think it's a vocal minority, really. I think majority of people are enjoying it. But it's like anything new. We all struggled with RTA when it first came out. We all just spammed our highest CP units and prayed while we figured out the system. When Auto Tower came out, Auto Tower's not the best example because that was a little bit crazy, but it evolved.
Right.
We weren't happy. People weren't happy with some aspects of Auto Tower. Smougate changed it. People weren't happy with some aspects of Ancient Inheritance, and it got changed. People really thought the Holo Trial system was boring, and they replaced it with another system, which is kind of also boring. But the important thing is that Smougate evolves their game. They don't just spam it, abandon it, move on, unless it's Guild Wars. So I'm really hoping that they put more attention into this. I'd love to see this expanded into a PvP system. I'd love to see this expanded as a reoccurring side story event. I mean, the puzzles and existing story events, you know, those were great and everything, but it's kind of getting stale, and I love that we've got something new, fresh, exciting. It's got people talking. It's got people jumping into Discord rooms and brainstorming how to solve problems that they've created. I really think it's a great thing for the game.
Absolutely. I mean, it's huge the fact that we got any new content in general, especially one that's like, you know, it costs you nothing to play, you get rewards on top, and especially on top of that, it's just a relaxing good time with the boys.
And out of the blue, right? I mean, no teaser, no expectations, no, just one day it was here. And that's amazing. Something as complicated and involved as this, and just out of the blue, they drop it on us. That's
exactly.
a great thing. Valky, I really appreciate you holding my hand through a lot of this. I learned a lot, and I hope that people watching this will gain greater perspective on this event and make it even more fun for them.
Hey, no problem. I know you always make content that helps people tap into all the difficult PvE content, help people get their rewards. And I know a lot of people are kind of having a hard time going through it with this event, if you will. So I just want to do my part for the community as well, give back once a little bit to the PvE aspects of the game, and you know, hopefully when more people can get into it, we can help the game mode evolve.